Hello, everyone, and welcome to our series on thinking with AI, real work, real time. Today, we are going to pick Claude, not for any reason in particular, but just because that's the tool we chose. As always, the structured thinking system can be used with any AI platform because it is a method for thinking, not creating prompts. You can watch hundreds of videos on Facebook, YouTube, and every other social media platform with prompts that can do everything from build a business to make you a millionaire. The reason it isn't happening as much as people would like you to believe is because knowing a prompt isn't as powerful as knowing how to think with AI. If you don't know that, your prompt will only take you as far as your first result. Claude will help us in crafting an email to a client, and in order to speed up the process today, I have pre-typed all of my responses into a Word document hidden off of my screen. I have done that because I want to make sure that I keep your attention, and we all know that only lasts so long. So, in doing so, that's going to make our process just a little bit speedier today. So today we are responding to a client who is having work done by a landscaping company. Yes, all professionals, no matter what your business you're in, can value from using AI in your profession. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the first step of our system, which is the dump. And I'm going to drop everything into the AI tool. Now, a lot of people do a lot of different things here. You can use bullets. I like to just free type everything. And the reason I like to do that is because it helps me get everything out of my head. I'm not really somebody who thinks in bullets, but if that's you and you have a structured way you want to put something into your dump, then feel free to do so. However you want to do it, just make sure you're getting everything in there. The email is going to be one of those that you don't ever want to send. But every once in a while, we do have emails that are a little bit more sensitive. So here's the text of this one. Jackie is our client, and she hired us to do a landscaping project. We are currently 3 weeks behind starting the project, and she is asking for an update. Apparently, we ordered some of the supplies for the project. Some of the items were left out of the order by our staff, so the delay is largely our fault. We didn't realize it at the first, and we just assumed the supplies were on the way. I just heard this morning that she has called twice and left a message, and we have not called her back. I need to email her to let her know the situation, that the supply should be in next week, and we'll schedule a time to start the project. Now, for some people, I know this is a little verbose, but for me, that's just the way I work. But you do whatever you want to do. It doesn't really matter. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I've entered everything in. I'm going to go ahead and send it into my tool, and I'm going to get back an email by Claude. Of course, this is all happening real time, so I have no idea what Claude is going to say, but we'll see what Claude does. Claude is thinking as it tries to prepare an email for us. Ah, here we go. All right. So, hi, Jackie. I wanted to start by apologizing both for the delay in your project and for not returning your call sooner. This is not the level of service you deserve, and I'm sorry. After looking into the situation, we discovered that when your supplies were ordered several times, we inadvertently left off the order by a member of our team. This was our error, and that's primarily the reason your project has not yet started. I want to be upfront with you rather than leave you wondering. The good news is that the missing supplies have been reordered and are expected to arrive next week. As soon as they're in, we'll reach out to reschedule the project start date and get things moving any further. I'd love to connect with you directly. Da, 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 da. So this looks like a pretty good attempt at an email. But what we're going to do is we're going to dive a little bit more into the part that people miss the most. And that is really focusing on evaluating the response that AI gives you. So, especially with a high risk email like this, one of the worst things you can do is take the first result that you get from AI and not put it through some kind of a pressure test. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more context here as well, because let's say that in the meantime, when sending this email, I received a little bit more information, so I'm going to add a little bit more information in here. Now let's kind of test this little. So I'm going to add that in there, but I also want to add in a pressure test too. So because this is such a risky situation, let's go ahead and test this, and see if we get a little bit better of a response. This is a pretty good one, but we want to make sure we get the right tone with Jackie, especially in this kind of situation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask AI to kind of test it under a certain type of lens, which goes right along with our method, the structured thinking system. And I've already got one prepared. We're gonna have it ask it as a public relations specialist responding to a difficult situation. Stress test this email for tone, identifying any risk for future business, and any failure to own our mistake. make sure the email doesn't unintentionally solicit further questions. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there and see if I can get a better response through AI this time. So here's the stress test. The good news is it's going to let me know all the different options that are there, what's going on. Feels dismissive as you're trying to reframe the problem. Okay. So there are some risks here for sure. Accountability gaps. All right. Future business risks. So here's some recommended revisions. So all of these things are things we would have missed in our first email had we just accepted what AI gave us, and that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people accept AI's first return. And that's why sometimes you get professionals who are thinking to themselves, hey, well, this is useful. This is something that is cool and all, but I don't know if it's exactly what I need for my situation, right? And so this is a pretty good email. There's nothing wrong with this email, but is it exactly what we need for our situation? And the way you do that is you keep looping through with different tests and adding different context and different things that make it a little bit more relevant for you and your situation. So let's go ahead and let it redraft an email incorporating all the fixes. So yes, let's get the redraft. All right. And let's see what it comes up with now with all of those stress tests called out, which is definitely part of the whole process. So, hi, Jackie. I owe you a direct apology, and I want to make sure you hear from me personally. You called twice and did not hear back from us. Now, already the tone is completely different here. This is unacceptable, and I am sorry. You deserve a better communication than that, and I take full responsibility for the lapse. I also want to be completely transparent about where things stand with your project. After looking into the delay, we determined that your supplies were ordered. Several items were mistakenly left off the order. This was our company's error, not a supplier issue, not something outside of our control. We should have caught it sooner, and we didn't. Your project is now 3 weeks behind where it should be, and that falls on us. We have since corrected the order, and the remaining supplies are expected to arrive next week. The moment they are confirmed in, I will personally reach out to schedule your project start date. You will not have to follow up with us. So this email is completely different. We value your trust in your business than the first email, right? I mean, you can tell right away that just by spending a little bit more time on it, just by putting in a little extra lens on there, we've got something completely at a completely different level. All right. But let's keep going. Let's push it. Let's push it one a little bit further. All right. And of course, Claude's going to give us the rundown of what it did. Let us know that, hey, I was doing what I was doing. So let's test it one more time. Let's go ahead and test it this time. Let's test it for test it for clarity, and make sure that it does nothing to erode the trust any further or create any additional frustration on the client's account side. So we're going to add that stress test in there and see what Claude has to say. So it's telling us what's working wrong or what's working well rather. The opening line is strong, which I agree that is a real strong opening line. Major clarity flags. I take full responsibility for the lapse. Signals it allows the moment they're confirmed in. We have also taken steps internally. I'll be in touch next week, confirm the date. This is a firm promise, which is good. However, implies there's any scheduling complications. That's not an overall assessment. Yes, I would like that. So let's incorporate these final adjustments into our final version. Yes, add the adjustments. And let's see what it can come up with this time, which Claude is really good at taking stress tests and really refining. And each AI tool has their own individual strengths and weaknesses, which, by the way, I absolutely hate it when somebody says that one is better than the rest. It's kind of like any tool you'd find in an operating room. You're not going to say that a scalpel is the best tool, when you're trying to, put a bone back together, I mean, it just depends on what you're trying to do. Hi, Jackie. I owe you a direct apology. I want to make sure you hear from me personally. You called twice. Let's see if we can identify. I want to be completely transparent with you, not the supplier. It's out of our control. We've since corrected the order. The remaining supplies are expected to arrive next week. The moment supplies are received, our person reach out to you to schedule our first project. So we have reviewed our ordering process internally to make sure this kind of oversight does not happen again on any project. That's even. We value your trust. Name it, we value your trust to your business. I know we have to earn that back through action, not just words. We're committed to delivering on the project we have promised and doing it right. I will be in touch with you. I will be in touch next week with a confirmed date on the scheduling. So we kind of changed this one a little bit because now we're getting in touch next week, no matter what happens. So we're getting in touch with it, and then of course there's a rundown of all the different changes that have been made. So the lesson today is that when you are throwing something into AI, don't ever just accept your first result. The first result here, of course, very, generic. I want to start out by apologizing both for delay in your project and for not returning your calls sooner. This is not the level of service you deserve. I'm sorry. It's good, but is it that good? And that's where a lot of professionals have a problem, or, they stop. They stop at something that's good and they don't spend time refining it, getting it just a little bit better. And finally, of course, our last one, which is miles above the other one. I owe you a direct apology, and I want to make sure you hear from me personally. You called twice and did not hear back from us. This is unacceptable, and I'm sorry. You deserve a better communication all the way down to we value your trust and your business, and I know we have to earn that back through action, not just words. We're committed to delivering the project you are promised and doing it right. So don't forget, when you're throwing stuff into AI, evaluate, evaluate, evaluate. And until next time on our series on thinking with AI, real work, real time. Have a wonderful day. Now